Congratulations. I rejoice with everyone on the start of a new year, year 2021. 2020 was a very harsh but remarkable year. With you all our partners in growth, we triumph over the hurdles that later all our paths. On behalf of the board, I say thank you to all our stakeholders that help us in attaining new heights. I particularly appreciate the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, a passionate, committed, and transformational leader. Thank you for the giant leaps we made, especially through a Co-Excel initiative. I equally thank our amiable and pleasant Deputy Governor, Dr. Obafemi Kadri Hamsat, for his immense support for all the activities of the board. I thank the Honorable Commissioner of Education, Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, for her remarkable leadership role in the sector. To the Executive Secretary, Dr. Hamid Boboyi, and management staff of UBEC, ministries, departments, and agencies in the state that partner with us to ensure the smooth running of the basic education sector, I say thank you. To our corporate friends who stood by us and the people of Lagos State despite the harsh economic realities, I express our heartfelt gratitude. I'm particularly pleased with all our private sector partners in the recently launched Project Zero initiative. I cannot forget our wonderful teachers and parents who ensure that our children continue to learn even when our schools were shut. My sincere appreciation to the entire management and staff of LASUBEB and the education family for their hard work and commitment all year round. Let us get back to work with a renewed energy. Together we can achieve more. I wish everyone a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2021. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àjùmọ̀ṣe ni o.
Hello pupils, you're welcome to another wonderful edition of your favorite program, The Classroom in Your Home, a program organized by the Lagos State Government and packaged by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, LASUBEB, to ensure that you are academically engaged in addition to what you're learning in school. I am Auntie Fumi, your English Studies teacher, and as usual, I have with me your wonderful teachers.
Hello children, I am your mathematics teacher, Uncle Agbaje, but you know me as the mathematician.
Uncle Popo is here, your general studies teacher.
Together, we are bringing the classroom into your home. Please stay tuned. Hello pupils, you are welcome to Auntie Fumi's class. In our English Studies lesson today, our focus will be how to give a vote of thanks. Yes, how to give a vote of thanks. At one time or the other, you would have attended a social gathering. Maybe you followed your parents or it was organized in your school. Towards the end of the program, somebody will stand up to express appreciation to everybody for partaking in one part of the program or the other. That is the vote of thanks. Before we go into the learning objective for today's lesson, how to give a vote of thanks, I gave you an assignment, so let's have the correction to the assignment. You will recall that our last topic was the use of some correct usage of some words in English. And you were asked to give or to make sentences with yesteryear, installment, and contact card. How many of you did or submitted the assignment? It's possible you do your assignment, you didn't submit. So how many of you submitted? Okay, good. So, yesteryear. Here is my own sentence. Learning is easier now than yesteryear. That is talking about the previous years. Yesteryear. Remember I told you that there's no plural form for yesteryear. It remains yesteryear. Nothing like yesteryears. Installment. The caretaker agreed that we can pay the rent by installments. The caretaker agreed that we can pay the rent by installment. I told you that there's nothing like installmentally. In installment by installment. Good. And the last one, contact card. In the past, you refer to it as complimentary card. And I told you that complimentary means free. So it's either you call it a contact card or a business card. So here's my sentence. He gave me his contact card. Mr. Governor gave me his contact card. The executive chairman, LASUBEB, gave me his contact card. Okay, so here are my sentences, and I believe you have something very close to it. If that is so, I celebrate you with a cheer. Good job, you. Now to the learning objective for today's lesson. How to give a vote of thanks. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to say what a vote of thanks means. You should be able to say what a vote of thanks means, and you should be able to give a vote of thanks correctly. Are you ready? Then, let's begin. According to the dictionary definition, a vote of thanks is an official speech where the speaker formally thanks a person or a group of persons for doing something. Let me take that again. A vote of thanks is an official speech where the speaker formally thanks a person or a group of persons for doing something. Usually, a vote of thanks is a short speech meant to thank everyone and all the speakers who have been part of organizing the function, which includes the people gathered to attend the function. It is a very short speech meant to thank the organizer or everybody for being in the program and for taking one role or the other participating in the program. That is the essence of the vote of thanks. So what are the do's and don'ts in a vote of thanks? What are the rules for giving a vote of thanks? The first rule, you don't summarize the lecture given by the speaker or stretch it to be a second speech. A vote of thanks must not be another speech. You don't stretch it to become a second speech. The audience might already be so tired sitting attentively. The speaker, somebody has spoken in the program, so maybe somebody had given a lecture. When given a vote of thanks, you don't have to stretch it. You don't have to refer to all that has been said by the speaker or the speakers. You make it so brief. You don't need to summarize what has been said because your audience might be bored. You don't make it a long speech. Rather, wind it up with few sentences. Make it as brief as possible. Then, another rule is that you should not forget to thank the sponsors and the audience. Do not forget to express appreciation to the sponsors and the audience. Not only that, it's an opportunity for you to announce your next event, if you have any. When giving your vote of thanks, it is another opportunity for you to announce your next event, if there is any. Then, prior to giving a vote of thanks, you must practice before you come. You must practice what you want to say before you come, because even a few sentences here can open some keynote speaking opportunities for you. Somebody might identify you and say, oh, that girl gave a very good vote of thanks. I want her to come and speak on so and so topic in my organization or in my school. So it can open some keynote speaking opportunities for you. Since this is all about thanking the people who have contributed to the event, you must ensure that you practice well before going for it, so that you don't get there and then you are not coordinated. You must practice before you go for it. Now let's look at examples of statements where you can begin your speech on a vote of thanks. Let's look at examples of statements where you can begin your speech. That is the opener on a vote of thanks. This is one. Thank you for being with us. It is an honor for us that you thought to be here out of line of activities you have for today. That is one. You can also open this way. Now, we have come to the end of this lively gathering. Prior to winding it up, a few words of announcement and warmth to all of you. That is another way to start a vote of thanks. You can also have it this way. We hope you all have a very good evening. On behalf of the organizing committee and the audience, I thank the speaker of the day for all the valuable information he shared with us this present time. That is another one. So, having looked at examples of statements in opening or an opener for a vote of thanks, let's look at sample speech formats on vote of thanks for function in your school. Yes, it's a sample. Now, listen to me. A graceful and warm morning to our most valued guests, worthy teachers, management committee, and most beloved children. Last but not the least, all gathered over here. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. On behalf of, you mentioned the name of your school, on behalf of the pupils of Oluwalogbo Primary School, K2, first of all, I extend my most sincere thanks to the Lord God. On my behalf, I extend a hearty appreciation to the chief guest who spared time from his busy schedule to grace this occasion. Furthermore, a big thank you to the masters of ceremony for their effort towards anchoring the program of today. I also thank the people who have been the backbone of the event. Our technical arrangement team, the light arrangement team, all the musicians who have spread melodious tones, our media, our press persons, and finally the catering staff. I once again want to state that we are grateful to all the speakers here over the stage. We thank you for being with us this time. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you very much. That is a sample of a vote of thanks. It was brief. All the people that participated were duly appreciated. And we did not even talk about what the speakers have said because we would not want to bore our audience. Now it is activity time. Today we have been able to look at what a vote of thanks means, openers, statements we can use to begin vote of thanks, and we looked at a sample vote of thanks. Now it's activity time. Let's see how attentive you have been in the course of the lesson. Answer these questions correctly. What is a vote of thanks? Write any 2 do's and don'ts in a vote of thanks. You have 50 seconds to do that. Your time starts now. Your pens down, eyes on me. By now you must have finished answering the questions. By now, you must have finished answering the questions. What is a vote of thanks? A vote of thanks is a short speech meant to thank everyone and all the speakers who have been part of organizing a function. Did you get that? Then, mark it. Write any do's. Write any two do's and don'ts in a vote of thanks. Do not make it a long speech. Do not forget to thank the sponsors and audience. We gave you so many do's and don'ts. So, for you, if you are able to write any two of the do's and don'ts given to you, then you're right. So, did you get everything? Did you get them? Did you write them correctly? Then you deserve to be celebrated with a cheer. Good job, you. Now it's time for your assignment. You know that you must do your assignment, and for every assignment duly submitted, there is a gift attached to it. Yes. So for your assignment, write how you will give a vote of thanks after an award or graduation ceremony. Maybe you are given an award or it's your graduation ceremony. So many people were in attendance and you want to express a vote of or give a vote of thanks. Write how you will give a vote of thanks after you've been awarded or after your graduation ceremony. I give you just 10 seconds to capture the assignment. I'll be back to sign out. Yeah. By now, you must have copied the assignments. Make sure you submit your assignments promptly. And don't forget to indicate your name, your school, your class, and your local government education authority. Yes, that is the only way I will be able to identify you and appraise you accordingly. On that note, I want to say that's it for today. We have come to the end of the English Studies lesson for today. We had fun learning how to give vote of thanks. Yes. It's time for me to hand you over to the mathematician Onkwagbaje for another beautifully packaged mathematics lesson. But don't forget, Auntie Fumi is always proud of you. Bye.
Hello, children. You are welcome to today's lesson in mathematics. Of course, on your favorite program, The Classroom in Your Home. It is time to have some fun. I am Onkwagbaje. Today in mathematics, it is Monday and another avenue for us to go on a mathematical marathon, which we call the Math-a-thon. A 1-minute exercise where you get to answer as many questions as possible. Are you ready for the Math-a-thon? You have your pen and you have your paper. Then, let us get started. 1 minute for this. Begin. Alrighty then, I believe that you have made some progress. How many were you able to answer? Well, let's see. 45 plus 25 is 70. Give yourself a tick as I call the numbers out. 13 plus 17 is 30. 42 plus 28 is 70. Then you have 90, 62, 20, 78 minus 34 is 44. Then you have 43, 27, 48, 36, and 56. Did you perform better than last time? Of course you did, and that shows that you are improving. With more practice, my friend, you will become perfect. Good job, you. Now, on to today's lesson. What does Uncle Agbaje have for us? We will be looking at area of circles. We have looked at area of quadrilaterals, specifically rectangles, squares, trapezoids, parallelograms. We've also looked at the area of a triangle. Now we will be looking at the area of circles. Now don't forget that the area is how many unit squares can be found in a shape. So what you should be thinking about, my friend, is how can we fit in squares into a circle? Well, it is possible, as you will see. But before that, correction to our last homework, as is our usual practice, we were asked to find the perimeter of these shapes, a semicircle and a quadrant. So let's begin with the semicircle. Do not forget that a semicircle is made up of two parts. You have the arc and then you have the diameter. So we have to find the length of the arc and then you add it to the diameter. To find the length of the arc, that arc is half of the circumference. So we need to find the length of that arc, and that is half of the circumference, which is pi times diameter. So in this case, the diameter is 35. Now half times the pi, which is 22/7. We've been told to take pi as 22/7, then times 35. So let's resolve this down to the lowest terms. Okay, so 2 goes there 1, 2 goes there 11. Then 7 goes there 1, 7 goes there 5 times. So 11 times 5, that gives us 55. And that, of course, is just the length of the arc. So we know the length of this arc. Then we already know the diameter. So we now add the arc to the diameter and we get the perimeter. So that goes here. 55 centimeters, which is the arc, and then 35 centimeters, which is the diameter. And that gives us, that should give us 90 centimeters. Is that what you got to? Of course, that's what you got, because that one was easy enough. What are the learning objectives? By the end of this lesson, you should be able to recall and name some circle parts. You should be able to calculate the area of circles when you know the radius. You should also be able to calculate the area of circles when you know the diameter. Let's just move right into it, because time is not our friend. Now, let's look at the parts of this circle. Now, the closed shape COB is called a sector, and that is this shape. From here, down here, down here. Close the back like this. This is what you call a sector. We have done this, if you remember. The sector is like a slice of pizza. Okay, that is a sector. And also, the closed shape MOP. M-O-P, close the back. That one is called a segment. Okay, a sector has an angle. A segment, not an angle, just like cutting the top of an orange. That was exactly the example that was used. Okay, so keep that in mind. In fact, keep this in mind. The sector has two radii, a radius, and then one arc. Keep that in mind as we go. Now, the area of the circle is the total space that is covered by the circle. And in this case, it is the yellow portion. So when we talk about area, we're not talking about the line that goes round. We're talking about all the space, everything on the inside. Okay, so if something is at the back of this circle, we can't see it because the circle covers it up, and that is the area. Now we want to find out the area of this. How many squares can we fit in this? Okay, so, well, am I going to be arranging squares? It's no problem. Perhaps you've heard that the area of a circle can be calculated with pi r squared. It is possible. But the question is, how come it is pi r squared? I'm just going to run through the process. You don't need to cram it, just for you to understand why pi r squared before we start solving examples. So in case you forget the formula at some point, when you recall the process, the formula will always come back to you. So let's go. We will devise a method for calculating the area of any circle. Now, consider this circle. This is a circle, and the area is the yellow part. What we're going to be doing is that we're going to break down the yellow parts to form another shape that we are familiar with. Okay, so let's divide that circle, the area, into sectors like this. So we have sector, 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 sector. Remember that the sector is like the slice of pizza, like the rectangle, okay? So all these are sectors. And if I had the area of this sector, area of this sector, area of all the sectors, I will get the area of the circle. Agreed? Area of all the sectors together is area of the circle. Okay, because all the sectors together form the circle. Now, I'm going to color each alternating sector so that to be easy for me to differentiate. So I have red, yellow. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to separate and break up these sectors like this. Okay, so I want you to see that again in slow motion. So it's a circle divided into sectors, but now I break it up into little triangle like all the sectors are now coming out. And don't forget again that if I add up all the areas of all this sector, I will get the area of the circle. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to rearrange these sectors to form a rectangle-like shape. So the area of the circle is still the area of this rectangle. I have not removed anything. I only broke down the circle and rearranged to form this rectangular shape. Now, what is the area formula for finding the area of a rectangle? I think that's the easiest. The length times the breadth. So what I need to do is to know the length and to know the breadth of this rectangle, and I will know the area of this rectangle. And by extension, if I know the area of this rectangle, I will know the area of the circle, because it is the circle that I rearrange to form this rectangle. Okay, so the area of the quadrilateral is the same as the area of the circle, but the length of the quadrilateral is the radius, r. That is, what we're saying is that from here to here, radius, and how come it is the radius? So now let's see why this length is the radius. Remember, the white line that bounds the yellow part is the radius, and the white line that bounds the red part is the radius. That's what we have to prove. So we're back to that circle, and you see that the white line that comes to the center, that forms the triangular shape, is the radius. This is a radius, this is a radius. All these white lines are radiuses. So we'll go back. And so this white line is a radius, and so the white line here is also a radius, and that means the length of the rectangle is the radius. That one is settled. The length is the radius. Now, what is the breadth? Now, what is the breadth? The breadth is all the red parts and all the yellow parts. All the yellow parts. And the breadth is pi times radius. And why is it pi times radius? Let's go back to that circle. Now, the breadth is formed by joining all these red. Hold on. Okay, so on the top you have all the reds, and on the bottom you have all the yellows. So if we look at it, all the reds, all the yellows, and all the reds come together to form the circumference of the circle. And remember that the circumference of the circle is given by what? Let me use white. The circumference of the circle is given by multiplying the pi times the diameter. And that is the same thing as saying pi times the radius times 2, because the diameter is the radius times 2. Okay, so now if we take only the red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that forms half of the circumference. And if we take only the yellow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that also forms half of the circumference. So taking half of the circumference, 2 cancels 2, and we have pi times radius. So observe, only the red, half of the circumference. Only the yellow, half of the circumference. Now let's go back to that diagram. See, only the red, half of the circumference, and that is pi times radius. Only the yellow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, half of the circumference, that is also pi times radius. So the length, the breadth of the rectangle is now pi times radius, and the length is the radius. So to now find the area of this whole thing, multiply the length by the breadth, that is pi times radius times another radius. So the area is now pi times radius times another radius, and that is how we got pi times radius, which we call pi r squared. Putting that at the back of our mind. So let's just go into problem solving. Find the area of this circle. No, we will not have to break this one down into rectangles. It is enough to multiply the pi by the radius, and we will get the area like that. So the area is the pi times the radius times the radius. I like to write it like this, but you can write pi r squared. But this way I won't forget. All right, so pi is 22 over 7. The radius is 14, as it is given there, and the radius is still 14, so you have to multiply the radius twice. So let's cut this. 7 goes there 1, and 7 goes there 2. And now we have to multiply 22 times 2 times 14. 22 times 2 is 44. Now 44 times 14, let's quickly do that here. 4, 4, 1, 4. Put a line between each number and draw a diagonal there. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Then adding along diagonals, we have 6 here. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 6 is 11. Write 1. Regroup 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. And this is 0. So we have 616. That should be our final answer. The area is 22 times 28. And you will get 616 centimeters squared. It's as simple as that. The most important thing is that if you are able to remember the formula to use, and then you're able to simplify numbers like this, you always get to your final answer. You are ready for one of your own. To find the area of a circle, you need the pi, and you need to multiply the radius by itself. Take this one, my friend. Find the area of this circle. I'll give you just 1 minute. It's a simple one. Begin. Alrighty then. Were you able to make some progress? Let's walk through it together. To find the area of a circle, we need to multiply the radius by itself and multiply by the pi. The pi in this case is going to be 22 over 7. Then the radius is 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters will multiply by itself. So if I let 1 7 cancel 1 7, I'm left with 7 goes here 1, 7 goes here 1. 1, 1, 1 in the denominator. Not important. 22 times 7 on the other hand is important. 22 times 7. 7 times 2 is 14. I regroup 1. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 1. That is 15. And that should be your final answer. But let me check if it is correct. 22 times 7 centimeters squares. That, my friend, is 154 centimeters squares. Before we call it a day, summarily, to find the area of any circle, you have to square the radius, multiply the radius by itself, and then multiply the result by pi. Your pi could be 22 over 7, or it could be 3.14. It depends on the question that you are given. Practice, practice, practice. That, my friend, is the mother of perfection. You need to practice by doing your homework, which is coming up right about now. You are to find the areas of these circles. Note the first one, you're given the diameter, but you need the radius. A smart student, of course, can get the radius out of the diameter, and I'm sure that you are smart. Copy this in 1 minute, and I'll be right back. Alrighty then, we have come to the end of another mathematics lesson. I believe that you had some fun. And if somebody asks you, what is the origin of pi r squared? You will no longer be confused. You know that it's just breaking up that circle and changing it to a rectangle. It's time for me to hand you over to Uncle Popo for the general studies lesson, which as usual promises to be interesting. Till I come your way in the next class, remain wonderful mathematicians. Bye bye now.
Hello, pupils. You are welcome to General Studies class. I am Uncle Popo. Uncle Popo is here.
I am also here.
Good. We are here together.
100% attention.
Excellent. I'll always demand 100% attention from you. Our subject for today is basic science and technology. In our last lesson, we talked about forms of energy, and there you were given one word that from that word you will be able to list the forms of energy that you were taught, and the word you were told is melt. MELTSC. The letter M, that stands for the mechanical energy. Letter E, that's electrical energy. Letter L, that's light energy. T, thermal energy or heat energy. S, we have a sound energy, and C, we have chemical energy. All these are the forms of energy that you were taught in the last lesson. Today we want to move further to look at energy conversion. That's the topic for today. Energy conversion. Don't forget, you were told the meaning of energy, that energy is the ability to do work or the application of force to move an object. So let's move further. Energy conversion. What are the learning objectives for today? At the end of the lesson, you should be able to define energy conversion, and you should be able to list forms of energy conversion with examples, and you should be able to state the importance of energy conversion. Now, energy conversion. It is generally believed that energy cannot be created or destroyed, but can be changed from one form to another. That's when you convert it. Can be changed from one form to another. So this diagram is teaching us how from electrical energy is being converted to another form of energy, kinetic energy, to different. So we shall be looking at all this in today's lesson. What is energy conversion? Energy conversion is the changing of a form of energy into another form. Let me take it again. Energy conversion is the changing of a form of energy into another form. It's very simple. The changing of a form of energy into another form, that is energy conversion. And let's look at some examples of what I'm talking about. The use of electric bulb converts electrical energy to light energy. The use of electric bulb converts electrical energy to light energy. You know, your bulb will take electric to work, and it's being converted to light energy, and it supplies light. Let's look at another example. This chemical energy in kerosene changes to heat energy in the stove. No, I don't know if you have seen where they use stove before. So the kerosene in it, that's in form of chemical energy. When you light it, then it brings out heat, and that is being converting that chemical energy to heat energy. The chemical energy in kerosene changes to heat energy in the stove. And we also have the heat energy changes to mechanical energy when it is used to boil water. Now let's look at this energy conversion now. Forms of energy conversion. Let's look at it. The first one here, chemical energy to light energy. Chemical energy, so converting chemical energy to light energy. Example, the mastic and box. I think, look at this stick and box. This is in form of chemical energy. When lighted to produce light, your matches, when lighted to produce light, it gives you, and that has made it to be in form of light energy. So that is the conversion of chemical energy to light energy. Chemical energy again to kinetic energy. Chemical energy to kinetic energy. Example, when you eat food that's in form of chemical energy, you gain strength to run. Then when you now eat food is a form of chemical energy, you now get strength to run. Then when you are now running after eating food, that's converted it to kinetic energy. Food, chemical energy, you now have the ability to run, that is kinetic energy. So conversion of chemical energy to kinetic energy, that's another conversion. Another form of energy conversion is electrical energy to mechanical energy. Electrical energy to mechanical energy. Let's look at example. Electric circuit, that's in form of electric energy. When you plug your electric fan and you switch it on, then the fan starts working. That's converted it to mechanical energy, from electrical energy to mechanical energy. I know some of you tried to do this morning when you plug in your fan to the socket and you switch it on. That is conversion of electrical energy to mechanical energy. Now let's look at another one. Another energy conversion is electrical energy to heat energy. Electrical energy to what? Heat energy. Let's look at example. Your electric socket, you have been told, that's the electric energy. When you plug your boiling ring to heat water, then you switch it on, the water will get boiled and it produces heat, and that has converted it to heat energy. Electrical energy to heat energy. Your electric socket, and you plug your boiling ring or your electric kettle into it, then the water gets boiled. That has converted it to heat energy. Still on electrical energy to sound energy. Electrical energy to sound energy. Example, the battery in your phone, your phone must definitely have battery. That is electrical energy. When you now use it to listen to radio on your phone, that is sound energy. There is no way your phone will work without the battery. And your phone, you will need to charge it through your electric socket. You need to charge the battery, you need to charge the phone. So talking about electrical energy to sound energy, example, the battery in your phone, that's in form of electrical energy. When you use it to listen to radio on your phone, and when you listen to radio, that produces sound, and it will give you sound energy. So conversion, electrical energy to sound energy. So another one is this. Don't forget, we are still on energy conversion. Solar energy to heat energy. Solar energy to heat energy. I know some of you have been hearing solar, and that has to do with sun. I believe you all know that. So example now, solar energy to heat energy. Sun, that is, when you say sun, we are referring to solar energy used to dry your clothes, that is heat energy. When you wash your clothes and you lay the clothes outside the sun, that is the solar, you are expecting that the sun will dry the clothes. When the when sun dries the clothes, that has given it its energy, because it takes it to dry those clothes you have laid outside. Okay, let's move on to importance of energy conversion. Importance of energy conversion. Of what importance? The first one, solar energy helps to dry farm products, clothes, and other objects through heat energy. So I think we are all very familiar with this. We use sun to dry farm products, to dry our clothes, to dry some other objects through heat energy. That's one of the importance of energy conversion. Next one is wood. That's one of the examples of chemical energy, helps to cook food. I know some of you will have seen where they are using wood, or where they used wood to cook food before. And if I think in our society today, it's not very common, unlike the olden days where the major fuel they are using to cook is wood. So it's one of the examples of chemical energy and importance. It helps to cook food. Next one is electrical energy helps to operate many home appliances by conversion to other forms of energy like sound energy, heat energy. That's another importance of energy conversion. Electrical energy, I believe in our houses, most of the appliances we are using is being operated on electrical energy, and by conversion, some to sound energy, maybe your radio, maybe your mobile phone, some to heat energy, maybe your electric kettle, your boiling ring. So that is another importance. Electrical energy helps to operate many home appliances by conversion to other forms of energy like sound energy, heat energy, and so on. Next one is food. That's one of the examples of chemical energy too. Helps us to do work. I think you know this, because at times when you are feeling hungry, you will not have that strength to do work or to do some other activities. But immediately you eat, you have the power, you have the strength, you have the energy to do work and to do some other activities. So that's one of the importance of energy conversion. So food, that's chemical energy, help us to do work, and that is being converted to kinetic energy, that is energy of motion. So in today's lesson, we have looked at all these, and it's time for evaluation. Now I have two questions. Question number one, what is energy conversion? Question number two, list any two forms of energy conversion. You have just 30 seconds to attempt this. Your time starts now. Eyes on me. Uncle Popo is there. I believe you are still there. So let's mark together. What is energy conversion? I think this is very simple and it's very cheap for you to answer. Energy conversion is the changing of a form of energy into another form. That's energy conversion, the changing of a form of energy into another form. List any two forms of energy conversion. We have chemical energy to light energy, chemical energy to kinetic energy, electrical energy to heat energy, electrical energy to mechanical energy, and so on. So just two out of these energy conversion, you are correct. So, we have come to the end of today's lesson. Until next time, next lesson, Uncle Popo says, keep on studying. Bye.
My wonderful pupils, we have come to the end of another exciting episode on the classroom in your home.
An exciting one indeed it has been for us. We have enjoyed ourselves learning with you today, and we hope that you have had fun learning from us as well, and you were able to pick up one or two things in your classes in mathematics, English studies, and of course, general studies. Now, practice is the mother of perfection, and you know that we have our online assessments for you to try your hands on and see how well you have learned today's lessons. You can find all these online assessments using the link bit.ly/LASUBEB tests. Link again is bit.ly/LASUBEB tests. There you'll find exercises on lessons that we have taught from the beginning of this program till date.
Taking the online assessment on bit.ly/LASUBEB tests is based on if you have access to either your daddy's, your mommy's, your uncle's, or your auntie's Android or smartphones.
Yeah.
If not, you don't have a problem. Just send your comments, your questions, and your assignment to 081 50 86 5663. Please send your assignment there, and when you're sending your assignment, make sure you indicate your name,
Indicate your school,
Your class.
and your local government education authority. And I've always told you, do not call that line. SMS and WhatsApp messages only.
All the exciting lessons we had today and the previous ones are on LASUBEB YouTube channel for you to watch at your own preferred time. Subscribe to LASUBEB YouTube channel to get notification when new videos are uploaded. The classroom in your home could be watched live on Facebook through the page showing on the screen.
Until our next lesson, when we shall meet again on the classroom in your home, make sure you do your homework and submit promptly.
Wash your hands regularly.
keep studying hard, but above all,
Stay safe.
because at LASUBEB,
We leave no child behind.